All right, welcome to The Explainer. Today we're diving into a really powerful argument from financial macro expert Raoul Pal. And his whole thesis is this: the old financial playbook? It's broken. And we are right on the edge of a massive technology-driven change. So let's get right into it. So the big idea here is that our entire economic system is being fundamentally rewritten by two massive forces: technology and debt. And this is creating a pretty short window of opportunity to get ahead of the curve. So what's the actual problem that this new playbook is trying to solve?
Well, let's kick things off with a problem that I bet a lot of you feel personally. It's that feeling, that sense that the traditional markers of a good, successful life are just slipping out of reach.
I mean, just look at the story these numbers are telling us. For a 30-year-old today, owning a home, getting married, even just having the financial freedom to live on your own, it's dramatically harder than it was back in 1983. This isn't just a spreadsheet. It's a huge shift in what a normal life even looks like.
So what is going on here? Why does it feel like everything is just getting more and more expensive? Well, Powell points to this incredibly powerful but mostly invisible economic force that's working away in the background.
And that diagnosis, it's a concept called currency debasement. Here's the simple version. Governments have mountains of debt. To deal with it, they create more money. It's basic supply and demand. When the supply of money goes way up, the value of every single dollar or pound or euro you have goes down. It's basically a stealth tax on everything you've saved.
And this right here, this is the real-world hit. According to Powell's model, when you mix currency debasement, which is running around 8% a year, with regular inflation of 3%, your cash savings are losing about 11% of their purchasing power. And that's not a one-time thing. That's every single year.
I mean, really stop and think about what that means. Just to stay afloat, just to break even, your investments have to make more than 11% a year. That one little fact just completely torches most of the financial advice we all grew up with.
Okay, so let's look at exactly how this invisible tax just blows up the old traditional ways of trying to build wealth. So you've got the old path on one side, the S&P 500, the bedrock of old school investing. It gets you about 11% a year, which means you're basically just treading water against that debasement we just talked about. But then you look at the other side, at these new asset classes, these digital networks like tech stocks and crypto. They are generating returns that are just absolutely crushing that invisible tax.
And this idea, it even changes how you should think about your house, right? Which for most of us is our single biggest investment. The argument is that a house has become what he calls a lifestyle bank. It gives you stability, sure, but it's not really a great wealth building tool anymore. It barely keeps up with debasement, and maybe more importantly, it ties up all your capital for decades. Okay, so all of this is pointing towards a completely new technological system that's popping up to solve these problems. But to really get the new system, we've got to first understand how the old one works. Right, let's start with the traditional bank, the system we all know. It's built on trust and leverage, but you might be surprised at how that leverage actually works. So picture this. You go and deposit one single coin in the bank. The bank then turns around and uses your one coin to create like 30 loans, basically 30 IOUs. The crazy part is there's still only that one real coin backing up all 30 of those promises. The whole system is built on that leverage, and it all rests on trusting one single place, the bank. Okay, so now you've got blockchain, and it just completely flips that model on its head. It's a whole new way of keeping track of things without needing that middleman. So instead of one bank you have to trust, a blockchain uses this huge network, thousands of computers, and they all have to check and agree on every single transaction. It's a decentralized system where the truth isn't decided by one person, it's decided by everybody. It's all out in the open, a public ledger that anyone can go and look at. And that right there is the huge breakthrough. Because for the first time in history, we can create things that are digitally scarce. Things you can't just copy and paste. And that lets us have real, provable ownership of digital stuff. Anything from money to art, and you don't need a central authority to say it's yours. It just is. Okay, so if this new digital economy is this massive opportunity, we also have to talk about the fact that it comes with insane volatility and risk. So the big question is, how do you get involved without getting completely wrecked? And that leads to a really simple question. If you believe this technology is going to grow like crazy over the next decade, say from 2 trillion to maybe 100 trillion, what is your one and only job? The answer is deceptively simple. Just survive. Your number one job is just to hold on. The biggest mistake you can make isn't picking the wrong horse. It's getting spooked by the crazy price swings or getting greedy with risk, which forces you to sell at the absolute worst time and lose your spot in the network. So with that in mind, here are the proposed rules of the game, the rules for survival. First, stick to the quality projects. Then get ready for massive price drops. We're talking 70, 80% drops. It's just part of the game. You've got to think in years, not weeks or months. And this is a big one. Don't ever borrow money to invest. And finally, if you absolutely have to speculate, just use a tiny bit of play money that you're 100% okay with losing. Because at the end of the day, this whole thing, Pal's message, it isn't just about stacking up money. The whole point of building wealth is to buy freedom. The freedom to live where you want, be with the people you care about, and actually chase a life that's rich in what really matters. Because let's be honest, money is just a tool. The real grand prize is a life that's just full of experiences.